Oh, y'all know what time it is.
You ain't from the hood.
You gotta be from the hood.
Nah, you ain't get put on, you ain't from the hood. You ain't never got put on, you ain't from the hood. Niggas always claim to say blood ain't from the hood. Hell nah.
Everybody on here from the hood.
Oh, I live in the hood, ass nigga. Never got put on, always claiming the hood though. Oh, you fucking with the homegirl, but don't come to the hood with none of your damn homeboys. They don't get a pass. Had a little homies press they ass for your tattoos. Hey, your mama waking up to some bad news. The plug saying groove.
I'm a dumb.
I was long in the race, skinny nigga with the braid, took a 2-man fade. I'm really from the hood. I took a fucking break to get my money right, but I was banking on the plane in the meeting with Jermaine. They like, poet, oh you bang?
They forgot where I came from.
I was gang banging when it wasn't fun. Homie doing life right now, cause we don't play from the hood.
You ain't from the hood.
Nah, you ain't get put on, you ain't from the hood.
Oh, y'all is
you
ready for the show.
Put on, you ain't from the hood. Niggas always claim to say blood ain't from the hood. Hell nah. You ain't never got put on, you ain't from the hood. And that goes for these hoes too. Start fucking on niggas and throwing these niggas hood up. Ha, little dot. Heard you gave a homie head
in a drop top.
Gotta throw away.
Sex house.
Boy, you not real, like a Sasquatch. Boy, I'm so high, I'm seeing astronauts. Boy, I ball hard, I need a mascot. Oh, and Swahili, I'm a diamond. My little cousin making power. My nigga Uzi, he provide loose. Head blows, I be hanging with some real whoops. Gang signs out the window when we drive loose. Making money with some crips like it's 92. Banging on tracks. Back in my days, it was banging on. You ain't from the hood.
I've been getting beat.
Nah, you ain't get put on, you ain't from the hood.
Listen.
You ain't never got put on, you ain't from the hood. Niggas always claim to say blood ain't from the hood. You ain't never got put on, you ain't from the hood. You ain't from the hood.
What's up with everybody in the chat on this Monday morning? Happy to see y'all up in the chat on my other channel. I had to go back to this channel. You know why I had to go back to this channel. Don't tell me you don't know why I got to go back to this channel. The original name of this and the title of this show was Why They Want to Censor Niggas Like Me and Why They Scared of My Voice and shit like that. They scared of my voice. They scared of people like me because of the shit I be talking about, right? Now, look what I woke up to this morning. The reason I'm on this channel, I didn't even know this channel was monetized. I messed around and sent the information in, and they messed around and monetized me, right? But the only reason I knew I was monetized, right, because I woke up this morning and I saw this right here on my other page. Black Rosebud Live. We have reviewed your content and determined that it may not be suitable. Wait a minute. This is not it. This is the wrong. This is a wrong damn one. This is the wrong one, right? But anyway, this is the wrong one. I got flagged on my other page, right? I got flagged on my other page for loading a video about voting, right? I didn't play it. I don't even know what was on the video. I downloaded the video, you know, about the election, right? And they told me that I cannot load videos talking about that topic right there, right? And I'm like, I didn't even talk about the shit. I didn't even share it. I didn't even play it. I just downloaded the video. I researched some shit. I guess I downloaded a Donald Trump video, you know what I'm saying? And then next thing I know, I'm flagged. You know what I'm saying? So this was my mission right now. For my mission from now on to November, I'm going to tear the Democrats' ass up on Twitter, on social media. I'm going to tear the Democrats' ass up. I'm going to go find candidates. I'm going to find out they fuck-ups and stuff like that. Everybody running for Democrat, I'm going to tear their ass up. Since they want to censor me, I'm going to do something more sophisticated and stuff like that. I'm going to run a game show on here, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to get 3 motherfuckers, I'm with 3 people a week, you know what I'm saying, to come on here to talk about laws and offer some money. Since this is a paid content channel now, I hold a game show and I do all kind of stuff on this channel. Now, this is going to be a whole new different kind of channel. It's going to be clean. No, there's not going to be no clean comment. I don't still keep my edge, but I can't do some of the videos on this channel. But remember, I got another channel and I got Patreon. And since this channel finna get funded, I'm finna do a whole lot more stuff on here, right? I'm finna do a whole lot more stuff on here because I'm finna get some viral videos going on here, right? But anyway, let me get back to why I want to do this video right here.
Relationship.
Let me get back to why I decided to do. I just woke up this morning, right? And I was kind of, like I said, I was kind of upset because I'm like, they don't flag me, and I didn't do shit. I didn't do shit. But now I kind of know what this is about. This is about freedom of speech, right? You got the new disinformation czar and stuff like that, and I guess they're trying to make an example out of people, right? But like I said, I didn't even play nothing. Do none of that. Oh, I got my first one. Who was that? Blazer 101 was the first motherfucking Blazer 101 the first super chat of all time. Blazer 101, you got the first super chat of all time, my ninja. I don't know if I can say nigga on here. My ninja, you got the first super chat. Shout out, nigga. You in the history books, nigga. If I ever go big, nigga, you are in the history book for giving Black Rosebud on Rosebud Live his first donation. You going in the history books, baby. Anyway, this is about freedom of speech, y'all, right? And how they trying to take freedom of speech away, right? Now, I don't know if y'all don't know about the Ministry of Truth, right? The Ministry of Truth is a novel, right? And it was a love story, right? And it was all kind of realistic things about the government that was put into the novel. I don't know if this dude was psychic, or I don't know if this dude had inside information, but the book and all the things that happen in the book is too deep, right? It tells you what's going on to this exact same day. It references things, but the references are right on spot. I need to get this book, and you need to get this book wherever the fuck it is. You need to get this book, and you need to get into it. I don't know if anybody ever read The Ministry of Truth, because I sure the fuck haven't, right? But just getting into the details and watching the videos and understanding what it's about, evidently it's a book that needs to be wrote into a damn movie, right? Right into a damn movie, y'all. Now, I accidentally downloaded the video, and some of it played right on this channel, right? I didn't want people to see that, but that wasn't the most important part. The most important part, y'all didn't get a chance to see that. You know what I'm saying? So I edited the most important part in. Ha! So you in for a treat. Now, this dude right here, they're talking about the Ministry of Truth and all that so shit, right? This is a deep ass video. This is gonna be one of the deepest videos I ever done, and I just started this shit this morning because they pissed me off. Let me get into it, y'all, while we up eating this biatch.
Will American citizens be monitored?
No.
Will American citizens be monitored? No. Let me turn this up a little bit. Will American citizens be monitored? No. They won't be monitored. Okay. That's not in the Ministry of Truth. Pay attention, y'all. This shit finna get deep. Pay attention. Pay attention. Let me turn this shit up a little bit. Turn it up.
Will American citizens be monitored?
No.
Guarantee that.
In 1940, George Orwell wrote, "Almost certainly we are moving into an age of totalitarian dictatorships. An age in which freedom of thought will be at first a deadly sin and later on a meaningless abstraction. The autonomous individual is going to be stamped out of existence."
What? Did you hear what they say? Did you hear what he said just now, right? This is some true shit, right? An age in which freedom of thought will be at first a deadly sin. Freedom of thoughts is deadly sin right now. Freedom of thought is a deadly sin in China, in Russia, in North Korea, and now guess what? It's coming to a town near you, right? Sin, and later on, meaninglessly abstraction, right? Your thought is going to be a meaninglessly abstraction. It means it doesn't fucking matter. Your thought will not matter, right? In the fucking future. Your thought, they're trying to kill your thought. They're trying to kill your freedom of speech. They're trying to kill your freedom of information and all that. This is a plan. I'm telling you, this shit finna get deep. This book is deep, y'all. I'm telling you.
So what we do, we in the Department of Homeland Security don't monitor American citizens.
You don't, but will this board change that?
No. The board does not have any operational authority or capability.
George Orwell.
You hear that? They don't have no capability, right? We're gonna trust them in that. Remember when Barack Obama lied on and all that old shit, and they were spying on the citizens, right? Now, if you trust America that come up with the Ministry of Truth and not going to spy on their citizens, what in the fuck is the Ministry of Truth for, right? If you saying you're going to spy on other governments, you've been supposed to doing that. If you're going to spy on Russia to see what kind of information Russia is sending, you've been supposed to doing that. You don't have to create no Ministry of Truth for that, but it's deeper than that, y'all. It's deeper than that. You're glad you tuned into your boy Black Rosebud. Play it.
Authority or capability.
George Orwell's dystopian novel 1984 is a work of fiction, but much that is depicted in it reflects the political realities of many nations, past and present.
To the Ministry of to the Ministry of Truth. And what he has to do is revise the past.
The Ministry of Truth, right? What he has to do is revive the past, right? What is these Democrats trying to do? They're trying to revive the past, changing the date of when America was created, right? Changing the date of American Independence Day, changing all kind of dates and histories, and trying to remove statues and stuff like that because we don't want that part of history. Changing things in our education system to drown out our leaders, you know what I'm saying, in our past forefathers and stuff like that. Putting things in our system, right, to change the history of America. That's exactly what the fuck they doing. This shit is deep.
The past. If a political change has taken place, all the old newspapers are sent to Winston, and he has to rewrite the past so it will fit neatly with whatever the truths of the present are.
He had to rewrite the past, right? To fit the narrative of what the truth is today. So whatever narrative is going on today, guess what? The Democrats got to rewrite the past so they can fit the narrative, right? Whatever narrative they're trying to create on this new world order or new war, whatever the fuck they are talking about, they have to erase the past, y'all. They can't do it unless they erase the past. And they're erasing history slowly but surely in our school, right? Because history lessons ain't the same when I was in school as they is right now. They erasing history.
It's basically a ministry of truth.
Shortly after 1984 was published, Orwell explained, "The moral to be drawn from this dangerous nightmare situation is a simple one. Don't let it happen. It depends on you."
It depends on you. Don't let it happen. Don't let these Democrats take over our country. Don't let these Democrats put in these social rules and these communist rules so they can spy on us, so they can take shit up. They spy on our money. They spy on our kids. They spy on our privacy. They spy on our phone. Don't let them do that shit. It's up to you. We need to vote people in our office that's going to get us away from this shit. We moving closer to this shit because the people in charge and the powers that may be. We need to move closer away from this shit. Right? We got a person that's calling themselves the disinformation czar, been lying like a son of a bitch. But now we put this person in charge of information of the truth. If it happens, it depends on you. You got to get up and we got to fight. You got to get out. You got to spread the word. You got to get out and you got to give people knowledge. You got to get people out to vote and get these motherfuckers up out of here. Huh? Black influence is down amongst Democrats. The Hispanic influence is down among Democrats. Democrat support is down among Democrats. This is a perfect time for us to not take over, but to spread the truth and get our country fucking back. And said before go to the Ministry of Truth.
It's on you.
As if they don't have enough issues to deal with, they now have an idea, and I honestly thought this was just a belated April Fool's joke. But they are actually going to create in the Department of Homeland Security a Bureau of Disinformation.
And putting that in the Homeland Security, right? And this is what this book was talking about, right? He was talking in the future, right? This lady is put in future of basically rewriting history, right? And what's the disinformation truth? That's what this dude was supposed to do. The Ministry of Truth. That's why they're talking about it. That's this lady's job, is to rewrite history and tell you what the fuck the truth is. That's what he was doing.
process of continuous alteration was applied not only to newspapers, but to books, periodicals, pamphlets, posters, leaflets, films, soundtracks, cartoons, photographs.
What they doing right now? Social media, Instagram, YouTube, you know what I'm saying? Newspapers, all that shit, right? This was the person's job. What you think this lady's job is, right? It wasn't all that technology back then. So they had to stick with newspapers and templates and shit like that, movies and commercials, right? Right now, they're doing it everywhere. The Ministry of Truth. This is what they're trying to turn the country into. I'm telling you, this shit get deep because the shit is adding up. The shit is building up on what they're trying to do. Listen to this shit and tell me it's not happening today.
Every kind of literature or documentation which might conceivably hold any political or ideological significance.
What?
Totalitarianism is a political system whereby a centralized state apparatus attempts to control virtually all aspects of life.
What? What the difference? Mandates. Wait. What do you call it? Mandate? What do you call restrictions? What do you call all these taxes and all this? What do you call this? They need total control. They're trying to have total control of your money. You need to do this. You need to do this. Cash App, PayPal. They want total control of everything. That's a democratic plan. Big government. You need big government. You're hiring more people. Remember, they had an information guru, right? They hiring people and building governments to shit that don't even matter. They making the government bigger. Think about it. This is big government. They expanding the government. This is something they're trying to put in the Department of Justice. You know what I'm saying? This is something they're trying to put inside the federal government as a federal job. This is a big government.
Everything within the state, nothing outside the state, nothing against the state. The Italian dictator Mussolini succinctly put it.
What? Everything within the state, right? Everything within the state, nothing outside of the state, right? That has nothing to do with something like America First. That has something to do with if you don't vote my way, right? You're not part of this. You're not in the state. You're out of the state. And who said that just recently? Who said that?
And what they want to do is they want to be able to put out false narratives without people being able to speak out and fight back.
While totalitarianism can emerge under the guise of various political ideologies, in the 20th century it was communism and fascism that provided the ideological support for this type of rule. Communism and fascism are often viewed as being on opposite ends of the political spectrum, but in the manner they were put into practice in the 20th century, both of these systems displayed the characteristics of the totalized, all-controlling state.
Totalized, all-controlling state? What the Democrats trying to do right now? All controlling. Control what you drive. Control what you drink. Control what you eat. Control what you buy. Total control.
The all-controlling state. Both used force and propaganda to attain power, crush economic and civil liberties.
What? Crush economic and civil liberties. What you think the Democrats doing right now? They crushing your economic and civil liberties. Gas, food, They crushing it. They crushing your financial stability. Crushing it.
Smother culture, partake in mass surveillance.
What? Smothering shit. Mass surveillance, right? We spying on you on your Facebook. We spying because we got white supremacists in this country, so that give us the right to spy on our citizens. What? Oh, it is branded out. We spying on Trump supporters. We spying on MAGA because they are part of the far right wing conspiracy or threats to our society. So if we label them terrorists and stuff like that, we have a right to spy on them. Surveillance with your citizens, among your citizens. What?
And to terrorize the citizenry with psychological warfare and eventually mass imprisonment and mass murder.
What we're having right now, mass murder everywhere, Mass imprisonment, Not mass imprisonment, niggas getting out, right? Mass releases, right? But mass releases is causing mass murders. Niggas are getting out from murdering 6 more people within a year before they get locked back up for another motherfucking murder. Murder's getting free time. Murder's getting less time. Totalitarian control.
They want to be able to say things like Russia collusion and perpetuate hoaxes and then have people like us be silenced.
Julia also is a writer too. She works in the fiction.
Now, Julia, right, in the book, Julia was a character in the book that was working inside the library, right, with him. He wrote truth and she wrote fiction, right? They fell in love, right? And this is a hell of an irony and a hell of a, you know what I'm saying, a comparison, you know, to something that's happening right now between fiction and truth. And here to explain it. This shit is genius. This book is genius.
Too. She works in the fiction department, but she's an engineer. Fiction is written not by people, but by machines, and she's the engineer who works on the fiction writing machines. And so the whole novel, in a way, is troubled by the relationship between truth and fiction, whether there can be a true kind of fiction, or whether fiction will always substitute for truth.
What? Will fiction always substitute for truth always substitute for fiction, or is fiction motherfucking truth? Which one is it? You mix up the truth because now you don't know what is fiction, what is truth. All this democracy, white supremacy, all this shit is fiction. But to the Democrats, it's the truth. They mixing fiction with the fucking truth. This is a part of the fucking ministry of truth. Mixing fiction with truth, so you won't know what is fiction and what is truth. Is a Hunter Biden laptop fiction, or is it the truth? Huh? Voter rights fiction, or is it the truth? Huh? What is fiction and what is the truth? Is white supremacy fiction, or is it the truth? What is fiction and what is the truth? This shit is genius.
And Winston is always trying to keep to a sense that there might be a real truth there, but his work is one that destroys truth. So it's also a novel about novel writing.
Destroy truth, right? It destroys truth. What they're going to do right now, if they get total control of the ministry of truth, huh? And this information, they're going to destroy the fucking truth. That's the whole point of the ministry of truth is to destroy the fucking truth.
So Winston, in one way, doesn't seem a very important figure, but in another way he is. And in some ways, he's a novelist himself, a bit like Orwell. So what he specializes in is inventing things, inventing the past, rewriting the past.
Inventing the past, rewriting the past. This is something that an expert's supposed to do, right? So you got all this lady talking about she's an expert on this information. And I just proved yesterday on my other page, she's an expert in Russian information and Ukraine conspiracies and shit like that, right? She's an expert, so she's going to be able to rewrite history, Russia, Ukraine, and the United States.
And when we read about Winston's work, we get a sense of how important writing is to the whole story.
Huh? How important writing is to the whole story, right? What's important right now? Texting is important, right? How important texting is to the whole story. So it was writing then, but it's texting now because texting is a new way of writing.
Speaking of Stalin's communist Russia and Hitler's Nazi Germany, Orwell explained, "The two regimes, having started from opposite ends, are rapidly evolving towards the same system, a form of oligarchical collectivism."
Will you stand against voter suppression?
Who does that?
Yes or no? That's the question they'll answer.
Huh? Who does that? Artificial collectivism. Will you stand with us? This is him preaching. Hey, tell me he don't line up perfectly to what the truth of ministry is talking about. Huh? You know I'm the motherfucking king of editing. I line this shit up perfect.
Will you stand against election subversion? Yes or no? Will you stand for democracy? Yes or no?
In the communist and fascist political systems of the 20th century and in 1984, the totalitarian regime maintained a tight grip of control on the populace through the use of manufactured fear.
Huh?
Here's one thing every senator, every American should remember. History has never been kind to those who've sided with voter suppression.
Manufactured fear. What is manufactured fear? Oh, I won't be able to vote. Oh, we might lose our democracy. That's manufactured fear at its fucking best. Ministry of fucking truth at its fucking best.
Over voters' rights. And it would even be less kind for those who side with election subversion. So I ask every elected official in America, how do you want to be remembered?
I know how, what is this? I know how Randy K want to be remembered. Randy K want to be remembered. Good look on the donation, Randy K. Fuck PayPal. Randy K say fuck PayPal. He gonna donate a different kind of way, right? But how do you want to be remembered, Randy K? You want to be remembered as a racist, or you want to be remembered as my nigga? I think Randy K want to be remembered as my nigga. That's Randy K is my nigga, right? But you see this, Randy? You see how the ministry of truth, how the separation, totalitarian, is you in or is you out? There's no out. If you're out, we're going to treat you like you're out. If you don't get vaccinated, we're going to treat you like you don't get vaccinated. If you don't get the mask, we're going to treat you different, right? Whatever we're into and you're not in, guess what? You're fucking out, even if it's voter rights. Huh? This is dictatorship at its finest.
Consequential moments in history. They present a choice. Do you want to be on the side of Dr. King or George Wallace? Do you want to be on the side of John Lewis or Bull Connor? Do you want to be on the side of Abraham Lincoln or Jefferson Davis? This is the moment to decide, to defend our elections, to defend our democracy. And if you do that, you will not be alone.
Huh? You won't be alone. Huh? You won't be alone. But if you do that, you will be alone. Huh? Because we will separate you. We will erase you from history. This is the ministry of truth, y'all. Tell me it ain't. Tell me when I'm lying. Stop me when I'm fucking lying, y'all.
1984, continuous war between the three superstates perpetuated.
Good war between the three superstates. Who the three superstates right now? Part of this was war. Part of the ministry of truth was the war between the three superstates, right? Who the three superstates? Russia, China, and the United States. Perpetual war between these three. You got to have them. This is part of the ministry of truth. It's not just the United States. This shit is global.
Perpetuated this state of fear.
They want to be able to advocate for COVID lockdowns. They want to be able to advocate for school closures, things that are not supported by the evidence. But then when you speak out, they want to stifle dissent.
President Joe Biden making it plain, speaking by phone Friday with Chinese President Xi Jinping and vowing there would be consequences for supporting Russia in its assault on Ukraine.
It was not important who was at war with who.
President Xi has to decide what he's going to do here.
Huh? It wasn't important who was at war with who, right? It doesn't matter if war in China and war with Russia, Russia and war with China, Russia and war with the United States. It doesn't matter who at war with the three superpowers. It's an ultimate plan in the ministry of truth, right? It's not about the war. It's about the truth. It's about the ministry of truth, right? By spreading deception, right? Watch how this shit flip.
Or who was allied with who, as this was changing all the time. And the point of the war was not for one superstate to conquer another, but for all three superstates to work behind the scenes to create the conditions of terror that would enable them all to institute totalitarian controls.
Huh? Who instituted totalitarian control? Look what China doing to its citizens. Lock up. Look what Russia doing to its citizens. Lock up. Huh? Look what the United States trying to do to their citizens. Lock up. Right? All of them having totalitarian control because of this, because of the war on this, the war on COVID, the war on anything. All of them having total control behind the scenes, all of them working together, right? And tell me this don't sound like they all working together.
Within their own borders.
A senior administration official describing the nearly 2-hour call as direct and candid.
They thrive on chaos and bewilderment. The strategy of fear is one of their most valuable tactics.
A chance to reiterate the U.S. side as tensions heighten between the two world powers, and amid State Department assessments that China is considering assisting Russia with military equipment.
And the point of the war was not for one superstate to conquer another, but for all three superstates to work behind the scenes to create the conditions of terror that would enable them all to institute totalitarian controls within their own borders.
That's why I put that up.
So we reject.
Huh? That's why I put it. What am I on point or what, y'all? I gave direct orders to him behind the scenes. Donald Trump done that shit in front of everybody. Huh? Or he made candid threats. He made this behind the scenes. What? How do we know that? Right? It's not important who won. It's not important who allied with who. Not the ministry of truth. It doesn't matter. Because we can use fear and manipulation to control the fucking citizens. Ministry of truth. White supremacy. Disinformation. Huh? Fear tactics.
This bureau in the state of Florida.
Constant surveillance of all of the citizens was an additional tool in the arsenal of the totalitarian regime of 1984. Surveillance not only allowed for more effective overt control of the citizenry, but it also induced paranoia, which made it less likely that any citizen would even dare step out of line.
Huh? With total control. With China, you can't do nothing in China. They got a social network about if you, on how, depending on your behavior, on how much you can get. What incentives you can get, what flights you can get, what schools your kids can go to, all that, right? With a consistent surveillance, right? So then you don't have to worry, because remember, if you under consistent surveillance, something like let's say G5 or 5G or whatever the fuck that is, right? With all this old technology, right? You'll be less likely to do something online if you know you're being constantly watched. That's why they need the big brother, so they can have you put in place. That's why all this new technology coming out, all this new shit coming out, so they can have you in place, right? All this Twitter, all this storing your information, all this, they need everything on you. This is part of the ministry of truth. We want everything on you.
Out of line. This surveillance was achieved, firstly, through the technology of the telescreen, which was installed in everyone's home and throughout the streets, and as Orwell explained.
Wait a minute.
We believe...
Did you hear what he said? What you think the internet is? What you think YouTube is? What you think Google is? What you think all that shit is, huh? What you think all this old social media? It controls you in home and in the motherfucking street. It's a two-way communication device, right? Two-way. Huh? Because this was wrote back in the day. They put monitors inside of homes, two-way monitors inside of homes, so they can spy on you. What we got right now? What is your laptop? What is your TV? What is your telephone? It's a two-way fucking monitor. You own it when you go on the street. You're filming stuff live. You're putting your information in it. Huh? This is what the ministry of truth does. This is what it's doing. This is what its purpose is. Get ready for it, because it's coming. It's coming to a town near you. You think these people lying when they say this shit? Let me replay that one more time, just in case you didn't hear the first time.
But it also induced paranoia, which made it less likely that any citizen would even dare step out of line. This surveillance was achieved, firstly, through the technology of the telescreen, which was installed in everyone's home and throughout the streets.
Huh? In everyone's home and throughout the streets. What? Surveillance on your citizens. You're going to voluntarily give up to surveillance. You ain't got a choice. You got to be on your computer. You got to be on your phone. You got to be on social media. You got to watch your TV. Everything is a fucking monitor. You got to go outside. You got to go into a store. You got to go into a business. Huh? What? Why you think when they want to, and somebody gets shot, they can follow the cameras and find out who the killer is? They can do that in every motherfucking murder case if they wanted to ever. Follow the cameras until they, follow the car, follow the camera, follow the street lights, follow the business cameras. There's too much money involved in that. So they'd rather let niggas kill each other. It's way more technology to solve murders now than it was back in the days. How you solving less murders with more technology? Surveillance in the street. Surveillance. We know what you niggas doing. We're just gonna let you niggas do it. Huh? Huh? Mass murder. Am I lying? Am I on the motherfucking point? If you think I'm not lying, send a nigga a donation. Do like, who just send a nigga a donation? Who is that? Uh-oh. Renee to send a nigga 20. Huh? Renee know I'm not lying. Good looking out, Renee. Huh? Renee know I'm not fucking lying. Renee know I speak the truth, Renee. Tell her, Renee. Renee, chat Black speaks the truth up in here, Renee. Let them know I'm the truth, Renee, while you're on here. Let them know you come for the truth. Renee come for the truth, y'all. Good looking out in the donation, Renee. Renee, I'm finna get into this shit, right? Because it's deeper than the three-way, it's deeper than the two-way monitor, Renee. You know what I'm saying? Because remember, this shit was rolled back in the days in the 20s. How in the fuck can he know about some two-way monitor right now, Renee? How in the fuck did he know the future about two-way monitor in your house and stuff like that to spread the ministry of truth, Renee? Huh? Tell me how the fuck he know? I better get into it, Renee.
And as Orwell explained,
we believe it's essential that individual Floridians and Americans are able to speak out against false narratives trying to be jammed down our throats by this regime.
The telescreen received and transmitted simultaneously. There was, of course, no way of knowing whether you were being watched at any given moment.
What? Didn't we hear about when it was when Facebook was on the Senate trial and stuff like that, when you could talk and stuff like that, and they know where your surroundings, who's surrounding you and stuff like that, and you don't know who recording you, when they're recording you, nothing. Facebook does this. The same thing they was talking about. This dude wrote this book in the 40s, was talking about 1984 or some shit like that, but I guess it happened in 2022. Huh? The telescreen received and transmitted simultaneously. There was, of course, no way of knowing whether you were being watched at any given fucking moment. This is the truth. I speak the truth. Stop me when I lie. I will cut this motherfucker off when I'm lying. I will cut it off.
Watched at any given moment. It was even conceivable that they watched everybody all the time. But at any rate, they could plug in your wire whenever they wanted to. You had to live, did live, from habit that became instinct.
We got habit. You have to live, motherfucker. You got to turn on your phone. You got to talk on your phone, huh? You got to turn on your social media, huh? You got to send an email or anything. Anything you send, they know about, huh? And whether you do it voluntarily or involuntarily, guess what? They still know about it. But at any rate, they could plug in your wire whenever they wanted to. They can spy on you whenever they wanted to. They can spy on your phone. They can turn on your computer. They can turn on your fucking television. They can turn on any fucking thing they want to. Oh shit, we going down. This is the Ministry of Truth, right? We going down.
In the assumption that every sound you made was overheard, and, except in darkness, every movement scrutinized.
Let me rewind that shit one more time, right? You're gonna accept it, right? You're gonna accept that we got your ass in the cookie jar, huh? You ain't got no way to get up out of the cookie jar. We control everything around you. We can plug in and plug out. We can plug in your bank account. We can plug in any fucking thing you want to, huh? Did live from habit that became instant in the assumption that every sound you made was overheard, right? So now you be scared to say shit. You be scared to do shit, right? Because you think everything you say is being recorded. You're scared to say shit on Facebook, right? Because you're going to be kicked off, you know what I'm saying? You're scared to say shit on YouTube because you're going to be censored, right? You're scared to say shit because you know YouTube is listening. Twitter is listening. Facebook is listening. Instagram is listening, and they watching, and they listening, and they watching, huh? Big brother, we're watching what you're doing, and before you even post shit, sometimes we think, am I gonna get flagged for this, huh? Every sound you make might be overheard. Every joke I say might be overheard, huh? You say the F word, you say the T word, you say the N word, huh? Everything you say will be overheard by Big Brother. Huh? Stop me when I'm lying, y'all. Please tell me when I'm lying.
We know they actually appointed somebody to lead it who herself has been an advocate for COVID lockdowns, who herself has put out disinformation about the Hunter Biden tapes, who supported Russia collusion conspiracy theories. And so this is not acceptable.
It's not acceptable. Thank you, Slaphead, for the donation, Slap. This is not acceptable, Slaphead. Huh? This shit is not acceptable. How are we gonna sit up here and accept it? We being not just monitored, right? But being controlled, right? We're being controlled, Slap. This is not American. This is not nowhere to do with America, right? This is not in our Constitution. Our country has never been ran like this. Good looking on the donation, Slaphead. You always in the mix. But think about this shit, right? It's come to a point, if we don't get control of our government and let our government spy on us, it's going to get to the point where they're going to be able to listen to everything we say, watch everything we do in the name of disinformation. That gives them the right. That gives them the federal right through the federal government, right? To have a government, right, inside of our federal government that spies on us. What? DeSantis said that shit ain't happening in Florida. Keep that shit to them other liberal states like California and that a bitch.
Not acceptable, and in Florida we're not going to have it. And so let's get real here. Let's start dealing with issues that people actually care about. Let's stop trying. You know, when you're not doing well, there's two ways to do it. You can try to do better, and so then maybe people will like what you're doing better, or you can try to shut up everybody who's criticizing your bad policy.
Right? And that's what you got to do in the ministry of truth, right? You got to criticize everybody who say you got bad policies. You got to criticize everybody, right? Who say you ain't speaking the truth, right? You got to cut them short because this was the ministry of truth. Do I think that was the deepest part? You think that was? Wait a minute. You thought what I was just talking about was the deepest part? Well, if this was school, that was only the elementary part of the shit I'm fit to talk about. That was the elementary part. We almost in high school right now, huh? I want to see if you motherfucker gonna say here to graduate college, right? We almost in high school. We just passed junior high right now, right? In this education right here on this motherfucking ministry of truth. We just getting into right? We're going to graduate from elementary, right? We're in 8th grade. We just about in a few minutes for to graduate junior high and work our way into high school, y'all. So if you hear you just in the high school, don't get happy. Don't think you got all the information. Don't be running like, oh, I got the information on the truth. No, you still ain't graduated, huh? Stay tuned. I'm finna graduate you. I'm finna put you with this game.
Secondly, mass surveillance of the citizenry was conducted by the citizens of 1984 themselves.
Huh? Who conducting the spying on American citizens right now? Americans. Who telling you on you right now? Americans. I don't see you fit to graduate right now, right? Because this is part of the ministry, this truth of ministry, to have people spy on people because it's easier for the government. Guess what? The people is doing the government job. These liberals are doing the government job, huh? They're training these liberals to do their motherfucking job. Huh? Stop me when I'm motherfucking lying. Who was that? RJ? Just send me one. RJ, stop. Let me rewind that for RJ, man, one more time. RJ say he couldn't wait till I get a motherfucking a super chat so he can donate. RJ said, nigga, I've been waiting for a long time for you to get a super chat so I can, wow, man, and then he put stop. RJ said, I've been waiting for a long motherfucking time for you to come up with a super chat, nigga, so I can donate. Well, guess what, RJ? Your wish is my motherfucking command, RJ. Huh? RJ say he come here for the truth. I got you, RJ. Just hold on. You still in element. I think you're almost out of elementary, RJ. Hold on. Am I at where I'm supposed to be at? Am I at where I'm supposed to be at?
Secondly,
yeah, you almost out of elementary, RJ. Hold on, RJ. I'm finna give you your junior high diploma in a few motherfucking minutes, RJ. Hold on.
Mass surveillance of the citizenry was conducted by the citizens of 1984 themselves.
Huh? RJ, did you hear him? Niggas is spying on you, RJ. Niggas on this social media spying on you, RJ. Anything you say, niggas looking at any word you write in this chat, RJ. Stop me when I'm lying, man. Stop me when I'm not telling the truth. Stop me when they start telling the truth. Stop me when this shit ain't adding up. Citizens spying on each other, doing the government job. At first, it was the government spying on you, right? Now it's the citizens spying on you with the government help, huh? Report this fake news to us. Flag them, huh? Say it's fake news. Now we're going to put truth seekers on Facebook and Instagram and all. We're going to put truth seekers on that. We're going to flag you for information because we don't know sometimes unless the motherfuckers tell us. And we create an algorithm. If you say a certain amount of words in a certain amount of period of time in a certain amount of phrase, guess what? You're flagged. We don't got no motherfucking human beings listening to your shit. We don't got no human beings going into the chat and seeing what people are talking about. You think we got all that time? No, we got a damn computer. So when you appeal, you got to appeal to a damn computer. We don't have no human intelligence, right? To we don't have no human intelligence to check out your appeals or something like that, right? So when he said old girl, right, was and fucking old boy inside the library, she was working fictional and he was working a fact. What do you think that is? It's fiction and it's facts. We're gonna kill your facts and we're gonna create fiction. Russian collusion, fiction. Hunter Biden is not Hunter Biden laptop, fiction. Joe Biden not the big guy, fiction. Joe Biden is didn't have no Russian pro quo and he was perfectly clean all this whole time as vice president, shit like that, fiction. But you know what they was running on with facts? Russian collusion was a fact. Donald Trump cheating on his taxes was a fact. Donald Trump started what do you call it? I want to say insurrection was a fact, right? All these were facts, right? But you finna graduate. Don't worry, I'm finna have you graduate. I'm finna give you this game.
Each person watched everyone else, and each person was, in turn, watched by everyone else.
Everybody watching everybody else. Think about this in China. The China does it already, right? But think about this for a minute. Everybody is watching everybody, and everybody is being watched. If you see something, say something. Now it's if you say something, see something. Say it first and then see it later. Remember, that's how the country ran. If you see something, say something. Citizens spying on themselves. That's how you get the ministry of truth. That's how you roll this shit in operation, right? I don't know if you read books but it's certain books, right? Pale White Horse, certain other things, the Matrix books, certain E.K. Tohart books and shit like that. Certain books they write about the government and stuff like that turns out to come to be true, right? The Willie Lynch letter, right? Shit like that turns out to be true. You read the Willie Lynch letter and how they was going to keep 500 years on how to keep a race down and stuff like that, and they doing it. I ought to go through that shit one day. The Willie Lynch shit. If it's a video on that, I'm pretty sure it's a video on it. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully I can find a short video that kind of relates back to the book and go through the details on how the Willie Lynch letter is still being conducted today, and black people don't even know it by these fucking liberals. They don't know it. They don't know how the liberals made the roles switch, have the man living like the woman and the woman living like the man. The woman independent, got control of the house while the man is sheltered and got to creep his way and can't get married, got to stay in the house, don't get no help, don't get no support, and they separate the woman from the man. That way the woman have all the power and kick the man out. The name in her house because the government is helping her out. It's all kind of shit, right? Kids raised up in reverse for the girl to hate the man and the boy to hate the woman, roles are reversed, switched. Anger among the black people, division, make this one turn against this one. You know what I'm saying? All kind of shit in the Willie Lynch letter that's going on today. Some things are wrote that comes into play in the history and it comes out to be true. This shit is on point, right? It's so on point that this nigga ought to win a Nobel Peace Prize or some shit like that, or whatever the fuck they call a literature peace prize or something like that, because it's the truth. It lines up perfectly on what they're trying to do today.
The most innocent of expressions, an innocuous statement, or a subtle look of disapproval when Big Brother appeared on the telescreen, was reported to the thought police.
The thought police. Do we got thought police? If you, right, but the thought police right now is like, if you against transgender, if you against this, if you against that, right, you're the thought police, right? You only supposed to have one way of thinking, their way of thinking. Any other way of thinking, guess what? We're gonna send them boys after you, right? But people put their thoughts on Instagram now. People put their thoughts on Twitter right now. So that is a thought police. You can't say what you want to say, right? You can't say what you think about certain topics, right? Because if you do, You'll be banned by the thought police. Let me watch that shit one more time. Let me watch that shit one more time. You're going to be banned by the fucking thought police. Huh? That's what's going to happen. You're going to be banned by the fucking thought police. Every facial expression. Don't make no bad facial expressions.
The most innocent of expressions, an innocuous statement, or a subtle look of disapproval when Big Brother appeared on the telescreen, was reported to the thought police and treated as a thought crime or a face crime, as evidence that one was disloyal and had something to hide.
Huh? A face crime. You ever heard of a face crime? You ever heard of a motherfucker committing a face crime, going to jail for a face crime? What is coming? You can't disapprove what we saying. You can't, that's wrong. You can't say, well, my constitution, you can't go back to your religion, anything. That's a face crime. But now it's a Facebook crime. It went from a face crime to a Facebook crime. Because now Facebook is really your face. It says your thought is really your brain. Huh? It's really what you think. Huh? The thought police. This nigga is genius.
Hide.
It seems like they're trying to do the latter. They want to stifle dissent. And I can feel, though, the public is sick of this. And you also see it with Elon Musk purchasing Twitter.
Wait, who is this? Bucolic Buffalo? I hope I said it right. You're looking out on the donation. What's that? Bucolic. What's that? Bocolic Buffalo? Good looking out, Bofolic Buffalo. I hope I said that right. You know what I'm saying? Bofolic Buffalo. You feel what I'm saying? But Buffalo, I'm calling you Buffalo Soldier. This is my Buffalo Soldier up on here. Buffalo Soldier, thanks for this donation, right? But hey, Buffalo Soldier, you see how they trying to silence people? Like Elon Musk, right? We get to Elon Musk, right? Elon Musk is part of something that can destroy the ministry of truth, right? So what they got to do, right? They got to get Elon Musk out of there, right? Who want to open up free speech, right? So they can control free speech, right? The ministry of truth ain't about more speech. It's about less speech, huh? They're trying to make it seem like, you know what I'm saying, Buffalo Soldier, like it's more speech. Fuck that. We're not believing in that. We know the truth.
It is intolerable to us that an erroneous thought should exist anywhere in the world, however secret and powerless it may be, Orwell has the character O'Brien explain. In Stalinist Russia, Alexander Solzhenitsyn noted that one could never be sure whether one's neighbors, friends, co-workers, the postman, or even in some cases one's own family, would report to the secret police a slip of the tongue, a criticism of Stalin or of communism.
Right? Remember, they got people spying on. Remember, they wanted to put laws in place where people can tell on you about guns, right? And that way your family members, remember Joe Biden tried to put that in? Your family members, all that, assault rifle, we're going to put a law, right, that people can tell on you about assault rifle and say you crazy and you can't have a gun. Remember? Report your neighbor and all of those shit. They came out with that. Surveillance on people. Having your people spy on your people. Remember, Varigos say, if you, right, see somebody not wearing the mask, report them. We give you a report people. Remember when people wasn't wearing masks and shit like that, and report them. Your parents, all that shit, report them. Remember we had kids reporting their parents in for being racist because of the way they was thinking about the Black Lives Matter protests and shit like that. Oh, my parents are so racist and shit like that. You don't know who watching you. It can be your fucking kids. These motherfuckers done turned their kids against you. It was plenty of videos when kids was turning against their parents talking about the George Floyd situation. Oh, my parents talked about this, about George. Some was recording their parents secretly. Right? Well, if you can't trust nobody in your family, right? It's certain people in people's family that say, they're scared to say, I'm a Trump supporter. I support Trump. Or I do this, I do it. Because your family will turn on you. You know what I'm saying? Your friends will turn on you. Some people are scared to say this because they know the consequences. Mob rule. They know the consequences of people doxing. They know the consequences of the violence that may happen. Right? So if you're under constant surveillance and you're scared to tell people who you are and what you think, this is part of the ministry of truth, to hide the truth.
For if one was reported, their fate was usually sealed. The police would knock at the door in the middle of the night, and soon after, one would be given the standard sentence of a tenor. That is, 10 years in the slave labor gulag prison camps.
Huh? Good looking out, Troy Sermon on the donation, my boy Troy Sermon, right? Now, Troy, imagine this, right? Imagine you going to jail, Troy, for the way you think, right? Imagine you being in prison for what you laugh at. Imagine, Troy, you talk, and Troy, I got that message, man. Shout out. I don't want to, put the thing out there, you know what I'm saying? But, I'm going to send my love out to that situation right there, Troy. I don't want to put the thing out, you know what I'm saying? But I'm going to send my love out for that situation, you feel me? But imagine you going to prison or something, Troy, you know what I'm saying, for your thought. Imagine somebody coming into your, because Facebook police, real police used to come to people's house for things they wrote on Facebook. It was plenty of videos on that too. Remember about the COVID and shit like that, when people saying this and saying that, they had the feds knocking on your door, right? You could have been arrested. Remember, they was talking about arresting people for misinformation because they was killing people, locking you up for the shit you talking about, Troy. Huh? Stop me when I'm lying. Am I on or am I on, Troy? Let me know am I on, Troy. Huh? Shout out to Troy out of New Orleans with the donation.
This form of surveillance created social conditions wherein most citizens adopted hypocrisy and lying as a way of life.
Huh? Y'all finna get into high school right now. Y'all, we finna enter high school. You see, it's almost, the meter is almost here. No, high school is probably like right here, right? This is when we get to college. All this right here is probably college, right? We just, no matter of fact, we still gonna call this junior high. We ain't got to high school yet. This not even high school. High school will be right here. This is college. So we're still in junior high. We're still on spying on the citizens. Citizens telling on each other, huh? Citizens working for the government voluntarily, huh? Citizens okaying freedom of speech being barred, huh? Citizens okaying less speech, huh? Freedom, making people believe there's really no First Amendment, right? There's nothing. It's not really it's not really a First Amendment. It just looked like a First Amendment or some shit like that. We still control the First Amendment. I forgot the word he used, right? But this is what they're telling you. Citizens spying on citizens. We have that right now.
Or as Solzhenitsyn explains in the Gulag Archipelago, the permanent lie becomes the only safe form of existence.
The permanent lie became, remember, people feel safe. Some people feel safe if they're getting lied to. So the permanent lie become your only way of a safe existence. Because if you believe in the lie, you feel you safe. You believe if there's no white supremacy. You believe if it's a war on white supremacy, right? You believe if people are fighting for your rights for this and that, and people are showing love to these people in this country and shit like that. If you believe the lie, right? You want to believe the lie so you can feel you're safe, right? But you see the reality every day when motherfuckers breaking into stores, committing crime, committing murders, committing robberies, right? And all those stuff. You see the lie every day. You don't feel safe, but they want you to.
Every wag of the tongue can be overheard by someone, every facial expression observed by someone. Therefore, every word, if it does not have to be a direct lie, is nonetheless obliged not to contradict the general, common lie. There exists a collection of ready-made phrases, of labels, a selection of ready-made lies.
Why you think they're trying to say, remember they tried to say Joe Rogan, racist, because he spoke up about something. Elon Musk, racist, because he bought Twitter, right? Right? All these people, right? That they try to switch up their words and switch up their purpose and stuff like that to fit their narrative, right? So they can come up with something that they can put off on these people, right? Who's against freedom of speech, who's speaking out against the establishment, right? They have to say they're lying, they're racist, they're the ones that want to kill democracy. not us, them.
In addition to a ubiquitous state of fear, in totalitarianism there exists a widespread state of confusion and mental disorientation amongst the citizenry. Many victims of totalitarianism have told me in interviews that the most upsetting experience they faced was the feeling of loss of logic, the state of confusion into which they had been brought, the state in which nothing had any validity. They simply did not know what was what.
Huh? They didn't know what was what. What was reality and what was fiction? Somebody who lost, somebody who don't watch this channel could be lost. Right? They don't know what the truth is, and they don't know what fiction is. They don't know what the like Jussie Smollett. They don't know what the truth is what is fiction. Some people still believe Jussie Smollett is telling the truth. You have a small portion of people, right, that believe he's telling the truth. That people are lying on him. That he was really a part of a racially motivated crime. It's people that actually believe in that fiction, but in court it was found out to be a lie. Right? But we at a point where we losing validity on the truth because we don't know if it's fiction or not. So now it becomes, if it's so much fiction, everything is a conspiracy theory. Everybody lying, right? Nobody's to be trusted on this side or that side. Who really cares about the truth anymore? Huh? Do Democrats care about the truth on Kamala Harris? On Joe Biden? Do Republicans care about the truth on Donald Trump? Right? Do we really care? Right? I mean, it's certain truths we do care about and certain truths we don't care about. Right? But when you on this political thing, the truth really don't matter. Right? Like it's some things that's like when Donald Trump say, grab her by the pussy. Some people like, well, I can't ride with that. You know what I'm saying? That's out of this. And some people like, okay, well, that's his truth, and I can ride with that. That's not nothing that's unordinary to me. I can live with that. Some people can't. Some people, oh, that's too disgusting. He shouldn't have done that. He's a pervert. He this and that. He that, right? Right. I done a show. I was gonna do a show on the apartment racism and shit that he got supposedly was charged with, right? And he filed a civil suit. I was gonna do a show on that one, right, and show what happened on that, right? But everything is a lie, because if you lie on that, right, and you can make that the truth, and you can turn something that's fiction into reality, guess what? You done won. You done turn fiction into reality, and fiction won.
You know, they wanted to use Twitter as a way to enforce the narrative. You know, when you do things like talk about things that conflict with what people like Fauci say or whatever, and these are very eminent people who will come out and show how what he's saying is wrong, they will silence. They'll deplatform you.
Deplatform you, right? They will deplatform you, right? A lot of people getting the platform right now, right? Because of Fauci and a lot of other different experts, right? And you being critical on what they're talking about, right? And you contradict what they say, you will be silenced. That's part of the ministry of truth. Now we get into the high school part of it, right? How they're trying to silence people, right? So they can spread their ministry of truth, right? People who are fighting against it, like Elon Musk, Donald Trump. Everybody fighting against freedom of speech, right? Trump supporters, MAGA. Everybody fighting against, everybody fighting for freedom of speech is getting silenced, right? Because they can't have freedom of speech in the ministry of truth.
Platform you.
Twitter is not the government. Twitter is a private company that can say, no, you're not allowed to be a Nazi on Twitter.
They will censor you. And so that is something for a free society to not be able to speak out on these major platforms where so much speech goes on. You know, that's a huge, huge problem. And Musk saw that.
Elon Musk calls himself a free speech absolutist. Well, first of all, that's BS.
And Musk saw people being censored. He saw websites like the Babylon Bee, a satire site, being locked out because they had the temerity to do satire about some of the transgender ideology.
There was a time when people had the double hashtags around their names because they were Jewish, and right-wingers were saying, get in the oven anytime you made any benign comment on Twitter. They attacked women. The misogyny was crazy on Twitter for a while. Elon Musk, I guess he misses the old South Africa in the 80s. He wants that back.
See what I'm saying? How they trying to, dude say, and earlier he said, they got to use history and twist up language, you know what I'm saying, to serve their purpose, right? They got to say he's racist. They got to switch the narrative and stuff like that. They're trying to kill the free speech. They're trying to kill free speech. And this is how you do it, right? By fighting the people who for freedom of speech, who for the truth, and say they're lying, right? And turn their truth into fiction. Elon Musk wasn't racist when he bought Twitter. He wasn't racist when he was sending people out of space, right? He wasn't racist then. All of a sudden, just like when Donald Trump became president, right? When Elon Musk bought Twitter, they racist. Think about it. Elon Musk was never racist. They were making songs about Elon Musk. It's a song out about Elon Musk right now, just like what was with Donald Trump. But when you go against what the liberals or these so-called Democrats want, or what their narrative is, guess what? You outcast. Now they're having all kind of investigations on Elon Musk about business dealings and did he file for this and did he do that? Never before. But now all of a sudden, think about it.
And so what he's doing, I don't think the board wanted to accept the offer, but they had to because financially it makes sense. And we let it be known in Florida, since our state pension fund has shares of Twitter, that we would absolutely hold the board of directors accountable if they breach their fiduciary duty.
Based on his public statements, it's clear he has a very little understanding of the complexities that go into content moderation and hate speech policies and the like.
They've got to do what's right in the interest of the shareholders. They can't reject Musk's offer because they're worried that he's going to open it up and for political reasons. And
Elon Musk buying Twitter says a lot about the priorities of people at the highest levels making decisions that could affect the fate of the planet.
So I think that shows you there's a lot of momentum now behind having free speech, a lot of momentum so that people can speak the truth, particularly speaking the truth to a very decaying and discredited ruling elite in this country.
Why you think the Democrats are going against their own people? Bill Maher is a Democrat. Joe Rogan is a liberal, right? They both want freedom of speech. They both these old school libertarians or liberals, right? They want what damn near what we want. It's some qualities that liberals and Republicans share. Real liberals, not these fake ass liberals, right? It's about real ones. I was in a conversation with this dude who's a Republican, at this club I do, and he asked me when I said liberals, he's like, why do you give them motherfuckers such a good name? Like, liberals is actually a good name, right? And it really got me like, okay, like he is right about that. A true liberal, right? If you really want to buy this for certain things, right, and have certain qualities that conservatives share, right? There's certain things we share with Bill Maher. We like, yeah, that's right. There's certain things we share with Joe Rogan, not everything, but there's certain qualities we both share on certain topics. That's a real liberal. So say, like, why do you give these people, when you say liberals, a good name? And I'm just like, well, I just said out of comedy content, as a reference to a certain group. I don't necessarily mean a liberal. I understand, liberal as as a way to put in a comedy content will make up everybody understand what group I'm talking about, But in actuality, I kind of do now understand that is basically calling them really loving the country, really fighters for the country, really liberals. We know the definition of it, So like I said, I don't know nothing else to call them. You feel me? But in doing that, you have a very elite class, right? That are not very liberal at all, and even go against their own people if they are true liberals. right? If they want to defend the country, if they want to defend rights, if they want to talk against them, right? You have a very elite class that's doing this, right? And that elite class don't want Elon Musk for political reasons to open it up so people can have political debates. This is what the elite class does. This is part of the Ministry of Truth. Now we get into high school, y'all.
On Twitter, it is predominantly straight white men.
And so this is going to be potentially an engine where the American people can speak the truth and fight back.
So when Elon Musk says, wow, this is about free speech, it seems to me that it's about free speech of straight white men. And
free speech of straight white men. What's the opposite of straight white men? Gay black men, right? So she's saying this, anybody can go on Twitter, right? That's the part of freedom of speech, right? There's not nobody going to go on Twitter and say, oh, you can't come on Twitter because you're black. They're not going to do that. You can't be up in this conversation because you're black, right? They want black people involved in the conversation. They want black people involved on Twitter because they want to have a honest debate and get and say what they want to say without being muted, without being censored, right? They want to talk about the crime in Chicago. They want to talk about the black on black crime without people saying, "Oh, you're racist. Oh, you should be tagged." Nah. If you want to talk about me, you able to talk about me and call me all kind of crackers and white this and white that and I fuck my daughter and all this sort of shit. I should be able to ask you about black on black crime. I should be able to ask you about, you know what I'm saying, the drug and the police and the drug infested neighborhoods that you live in and why you live in them, right? You know what I'm saying? Not saying that it's your fault, but I'm asking you, your community, why your community is not doing that. What about Black Lives Matter? I should be able to do that without being called a racist. You know what I'm saying? If you can say the opposite on certain things about me, right? I should be asked you, I should be able to ask you, why do you think you're a woman? Or why do you think you're a man? Do you know the definition? I should be able to say that, right? So that has nothing to do with white supremacy. That has nothing to do with white supremacy. It's an open chat for white men. See how they're trying to put the racist label on Elon Musk? If you turn against us, we're turning you racist.
Of straight white men. And so let them have it.
But clearly, our entire principles that the country was founded on, you cannot have a ministry of truth in this country.
If you own all of Twitter or Facebook or what have you, you don't have to explain yourself. You don't even have to be transparent. You could secretly ban one party's candidate or all of its candidates.
And
all of his candidates.
And so let's
wait. Ain't that what they done to Donald Trump? Ain't that what they done to basically all the Republicans who spoke out against certain topics, right? Who they thought was involved in something, they banned all of their account. So he act like this shit ain't already happened. This shit already happened. Twitter already have that power. So what is Elon doing, right? That Twitter ain't already done. If he was to ban somebody from freedom of speech or ban somebody party or something, what have he done that the Democrats ain't already done, or the fucking people who own Twitter ain't already done, and was advocating for it?
And so let's get real here. Let's make sure that we're doing things to benefit Floridians and Americans, but we're not going to let Biden get away with this one. So we'll be fighting back.
In 1984, widespread mental disorientation was stimulated via the falsification of history and the negation of the concept of objective truth. The Ministry of Truth was the institution which falsified history.
Huh? It was the institution of truth that falsified history. If you don't think for one instance that this lady is not fit to falsify history, you got another fucking mistake coming. She already falsified information, right? This person who's going to be put in supposedly for the Ministry of Truth, she already falsified shit. Everything. Let's get into it. We in high school now, y'all. We almost in college. We finna graduate high school and we finna go straight to college.
Everything faded into mist. The past was erased. The eraser was forgotten. The lie became truth. One of the reasons totalitarian regimes attempt to alter history is because it rids the society of any past reference points or standards of comparison.
Standards of comparison. We want it so we won't we don't want to compare slavery because we finna put niggas back in slavery, right? We don't want to compare racism and shit like that, right? Because we don't want the people to know how fucked up racism and separation is, right? So we're gonna separate all of that. We're gonna separate all of that, right? Because this is how you have a dictatorship, right? This is how you rule a country. This is how you have a total dominance over your people.
Which might remind the citizens that life in the past was so much better than it is in the sterile and oppressive present. Within 20 years at the most, the huge and simple question, was life better before the revolution than it is now?
Was life better than what? Was life better than from COVID than it is now? Remember, we're gonna erase all this shit, right? Because remember, the Democrats want a new norm. They keep telling you this, right? A new norm. Make you forget about all this shit in the past. And everything is based on fear because we working with this new normal shit, right? And 20 years at the most, the huge and simple question was, life better before the revolution? If you change this to COVID than it is now, was life, because we don't know what good is no more. We don't know the quality of life. We don't know our freedoms, right? So if we erase all of that and everything is locked up, mandate and this and that, right? We're gonna soon forget, damn, was life better before COVID? I don't remember. Because history has been erased. Because people are used to wearing this. People are used to taking that. People, it's a new norm. People are used to not going here. People are used to being not being turned down. Right? Now you're being turned down. Now you've been told you got to wear this. Now you've been told this, and it's going to get worse because something else is going to happen where they're going to re-implement these rules. You have think about it. Is life better?
Ceased once and for all to be answerable, wrote Orwell. But another reason history is falsified by totalitarians is to ensure there are no historical roots to which the citizen can anchor and find a truth, sustenance, and strength. In totalitarianism, there can be no historical information which contradicts or puts into question the reigning political ideology.
Remember Trump used to say, your kids should learn about our forefathers, your kids should learn about history, right? When the Democrats say them historical figures was racist, why you want to learn about them? They should be taken out of history book. They say their statues should be taken down, right? They're trying to erase history and build a new one so that new generation don't know nothing about their history, right? So they can be taught what history that they really should be believing in. Or, you know what I'm saying? All this old transgender and all this old 1967, all this old other stuff, right? They want people to believe in all this other stuff when the country was founded and stuff like that, and rewrite history. This shit is deep.
Nor any institution, such as religion, which offers the individual a refuge from the influence of the state. And so as Orwell wrote in 1984, every record has been destroyed or falsified. Every book has been rewritten. Every picture has been repainted. Every statue and street and building has been renamed.
What? Every record has been destroyed or falsified. Every book has been rewritten. They're rewriting books right now. They're rewriting history. Every picture has been repainted, right? Remember, we got pictures of George Floyd, right? Instead of our real heroes, right? Every statue and street and building has been renamed. Remember, Black Lives Matter got a street in Washington now. It's renamed Black Lives Matter Plaza. Every date has been altered. The date of our independence has been altered. This is how you do it, man. I mean, it's not like this video or this book just came out recently. This video is a couple years old, and this motherfucking book is a couple of decades old. Right? But they're talking about things happening today. History being altered, records being rewritten, pictures being repainted, statues being removed, renamed. Right? What they say, and the process is continuing day by day and minute by minute. History has stopped. Nothing exists except an endless present in which the party is always fucking right. The party is always fucking right. This is part of the truth of the ministry.
Every date has been altered, and that process is continuing day by day and minute by minute. History has stopped. Nothing exists except an endless present in which the party is always right. Along with destroying or falsifying the past, widespread mental disorientation is further cultivated by destroying the belief in objective truth. This is done through a program of psychological warfare. Incessant and intentionally confusing propaganda, conflicting reports, and blatant lies are pumped out in official reports and through the mass media at all hours of the day.
What? Watch CNN, watch MSNBC all hours a day. Lie, 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 lie. That's part of the truth ministry of truth.
What is said today has no bearing on what may be said tomorrow, for as Orwell explained.
What's said today? It's some things CNN say that they're wrong on. They don't even apologize for. They don't even correct themselves on because it really don't matter. They double down on it, right? Remember, they was all wrong about the Kyle Rittenhouse case. Soon as the verdict came in, they didn't apologize. They didn't correct themselves. What they do, they double down on it, right? They made it worse. They turned it into somebody who defended themselves and got off, right? And the system worked till the system is not working and the system is racist. That's how you control people. That's how you control the masses.
The totalitarian state sets up unquestionable dogmas, and it alters them from day to day. It needs the dogmas because it needs absolute obedience from its subjects, but it cannot avoid the changes, which are dictated by the needs of power politics. In 1984, for example, the Ministry of Plenty put out a bulletin that they were increasing the chocolate ration to 20 grams a week. Orwell writes, and only yesterday, Winston reflected, it had been announced that the ration was to be reduced to 20 grams a week. Was it possible that the citizens could swallow that after only 24 hours? Yes, they swallowed it. Was he then alone in the possession of a memory?
Was you in possession or are you alone? If everybody forget, right, because you erase history, right, and you're the only one remembering, you're an outsider. If you're the only person that remember your freedom, your independence, if you're the only person to remember that, you ain't gonna be the only person, but they just saying, they're using it as a reference. When the world is blind, when everybody around you is blind, and you're the only one woke, right? And everybody else should be knowing about our freedom. Everybody else should be knowing about our independence, but they forgot about it. But you were like, am I the only person that remember how free this country was? How many rights we have? Am I the only person that remember this? They got a new memory. They got a new lockdown, fear memory of separation and all that. Their memory is new.
Fundamentally, all the feelings in the book seem to be contradictory. When he first thinks about Julie,
right? Now this part is even deep right here. Now this is the college part right here, right? We're going to get into the college part. Put on your thinking cap for this. Put on your thinking cap for this one right here, right? Put on your thinking cap for this one, right? Because he's talking about the relationship between the two, right? The fictional character, you know what I'm saying, and, which was the producer of fictional books, and the reality character, the person that was rewriting history. The love connection between them two is deep.
Possession of a memory?
Fundamentally, all the feelings in the book seem to be contradictory. When he first thinks about Julia, the girl that he'll fall in love with, he hates her. He wants to shoot her full of arrows like Saint Sebastian, he says, or cosh her with a rubber truncheon. It's like love and hate are inseparable in this book.
In addition, contradictions, hypocrisies, and lies form the foundation of the totalitarian ideology. The totalitarian system presents the enslavement of the individual as his or her liberation. Censoring information is called protecting the truth. The destruction of culture or the economy is called its development.
The destruction of the country is called the development. You see, they finna get into some shit Joe Biden be doing all the time, right? They finna get it. This is the college part, right? This is the part where you got to really put on your thinking cap. You really got to put on your thinking cap for this part. We're in college now, y'all. So if you ain't ready for college, get your ass off right now. I see a couple of people dropped off. Get your ass off right now if you're not prepared for college. This is the college course right here.
The military occupation of other countries is labeled as the furtherance of freedom and peace.
Huh? Wait. We got to rewind this one more time. Rewind that one more time. I don't think people heard that. Right? Because we get into college. We get into things happening right now. How they trying to use war and all this Black Lives Matter and shit to say we united or how we should unite. Watch this.
As his or her liberation. Censoring information is called protecting the truth. The destruction of culture or the economy is called its development. The military occupation of other countries is labeled as the furtherance of freedom and peace. In 1984, the Ministry of Peace instigated wars. The Ministry of Truth manufactured propaganda. And the Ministry of Plenty created shortages.
Huh? What? Do I got shortages? Supply chain shortages, gas shortages, food shortages, huh? Manufactured. Should I play that one more? I need to play that clip one more motherfucking time. Huh? I gotta push right here. One more again. Manufactured war, manufactured shortages, right? You need this in the Ministry of Truth. Manufacture shit. Tell you the college course right here. You need to manufacture war.
In addition, contradictions, hypocrisies, and lies form the foundation of the totalitarian ideology. The totalitarian system presents the enslavement of the individual as his or her liberation. Censoring information is called protecting the truth. The destruction of culture or the economy is called its development. The military occupation of other countries is labeled as the furtherance of freedom and peace. In 1984, the Ministry of Peace instigated wars. The Ministry of Truth manufactured propaganda. And the Ministry of Plenty created shortages. On the enormous pyramidal structure of the Ministry of Truth hung the words, "War is peace."
Huh? War is peace. And peace is fucking war. Huh? You must have war to have peace. What we going to do right now in Ukraine? War. And what we want? Peace. War is peace. We got to do this, you know what I'm saying? Because it got to be some kind of peaceful resolution, right? We're doing this out of love. And we fighting war out of love. You know, we love our country. We love this. We love this. It's propaganda. They pumping this shit up. The Ministry of Truth pump up war and propaganda, right? They lie to their citizens and keep them at a distance, keep them at war, keep them in confusion.
Freedom is slavery. Ignorance is strength.
Huh?
The official ideology.
Did you hear that one more time? Freedom is ignorance. You got to be ignorant. They want all of that. You got to be ignorant.
Of the Ministry of Truth hung the words, "War is peace. Freedom is slavery. Ignorance is strength." The official ideology abounds with contradictions even when there is no practical reason for them, Orwell explained in 1984. These contradictions are not accidental.
They're not.
So in all his writing, there's almost no television. There have been some early experiments in the 1930s. But the idea of a two-way flat screen in your every room in the house in which you communicate in both directions, well, that looked like fantasy then, but now looks much more realistic.
Huh? It looked more realistic. You don't think it is? It was fantasy then, right? This dude was writing a fictional book that turned out to be factual. Huh? Wrote a fictional book about the motherfucking truth that's going on right now. A fantasy of a two-way communication device back then that follows you in every room was fictional. Now it's factual.
In the digital age.
The purpose of this all-encompassing program of psychological warfare is to bewilder the mind of the average citizen. For when the citizen is bombarded with contradictions and lies and lives in what Orwell called that shifting phantasmagoric world in which black may be white tomorrow and yesterday's weather can be changed by decree, he or she eventually ceases to know what to think or even how to think.
Huh? What to think or how to think. You think some of these people on the street know what to think or how to think? You think they know what to think about Vladimir Putin? What to think about Joe Biden? What to think about Kamala Harris? What to think about Donald Trump? right? Or are they going off emotion about what they're told about these people? They don't know the truth about none of these people. They only know what they're told. They only know what they only speak what they heard. They don't conjure their own thoughts. They don't talk about their own information. They don't do their own research. They take for whatever fact they given, right? Like Elon Musk, like Joe Rogan. They get whatever facts they get, and they take it and run with it, because these people can create facts out of nowhere, words out of nowhere, right?
The distinction between up and down, fact and fiction, truth and falsity, is not only blurred, but loses significance.
People don't even care no more. People don't care if Donald Trump is racist. People don't care if Joe Biden is racist, right? People don't care about all the racist shit Joe Biden said or did, right? They don't care, because it's a lie and it's a deception about the truth and what's fictional. Some people think he's not racist. Some people think he was just making statements. Some people think Joe really liked blacks. He was really fighting for black civil rights and stuff and shit like that. That turned out to be fictional. It was a lie. But he's still talking about it like it's fact. And some black people still soaking the fuck up like it's fact. Believing the fictional is a fact. Right? When you bartered with so many lies, right? And so many untruths, and so many supposedly conspiracy theories, you don't know what the truth is no more. Some people don't. They don't even search for it. Some of them don't even want to hear it.
And the idea that you could keep revising things, the past could be eliminated and quickly revised, turned into something utterly different from what it was before, which is what Winston's job is, now too seems a much more real possibility in the internet age.
The belief in objective truth disappears, and the average citizen becomes completely dependent on authority figures to feed him ideas, and thus is ready to assent to lies and to believe the most absurd things, so long as those in the political class deem it to be true.
Huh? Long as those in the political class deem it to be true, right? So if people in the political class deem it to be true, right? Deem it to be true, it's true. Anything the Democrats say about anything, January 6th, elections, COVID, anything they say is supposed to be taken as the truth. Because guess what? They are the ruling political class. Huh? How does this fictional book turn out to be a factual book? Because who knows what is fictional and who knows what is facts? That's their purpose. To confuse, right? And make fiction and facts become one, right? And when you don't know the difference between fiction and fact, both of them become unnecessary. Huh? Fiction or fact don't matter no more if you can't tell the difference on what is what. It becomes irrelevant, right? So now with this information expert and stuff like that, right, who's saying this is not true and that's not true, right, it's going to have the same effect. This shit is deep.
The Soviet official Georgy Pyatakov explained that the true Bolshevik would be ready to believe that black was white and white was black if the party required it.
Huh? If the party required it, they believe Donald Trump was racist. If the party required for Donald Trump to be racist, to be the democracy killer, right? To be the head of the white supremacy, to add the fuels on the flame, right? If the party requires you to believe it, guess what? You have to believe it. Without any facts, without any proof, without any evidence, you have to believe it. Because the party requires you to. That's what you call a cult, right? The party I belong to don't require me to do a motherfucking thing, but tell jokes, do my research, and expose the truth, and spread the truth and expose lies. That's what my party asked me to do. right? And make it funny at the same time. They don't require me to believe shit. They don't require me to think shit. They don't require me to speak shit. But the party requires you to believe black is white. That's what you're going to believe. I mean, I'm pretty sure in certain videos and certain jokes and certain topics that people don't hear, I do that people may not agree with. But they don't say, don't think like that. You shouldn't talk like that. They make their comment, right? And they move on. They don't report people and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? They don't require me or try to change the way I think and tell jokes. But if the party needs you to believe black is white, guess what? You got to believe it.
There was no particle left inside him which was not at one with the party, did not belong to it. In an essay titled Totalitarianism and the Lie, Leszek Kolakowski, a philosopher who was exiled from Poland for his criticisms of communism and Marxism, wrote, "This is what totalitarian regimes keep unceasingly trying to achieve. People whose memory, personal or collective, has been nationalized, has become state-owned."
Has people thoughts, right? Personal or collective have been nationalized. Think about this. They want total control. They want your thoughts. They want you to believe what they believe was moral and what's immoral, what's right and what's wrong. They want you to believe all of that from their philosophies, not from yours, not from the philosophies of the past, not from the philosophies of the country, but the philosophies of the ideologies, right? They want you to believe that's the truth. So erase yours and install theirs.
And perfectly malleable, totally controllable, are entirely at the mercy of their rulers. They have been deprived of their identity. They are helpless and incapable of questioning anything they are told to believe. They will never revolt, never think, never create. They have been transformed into dead objects.
This is what people are being transformed into. People don't read books. They get everything off the internet, right? Get everything off of social media, right? They don't search for the truth because now they believe whatever they're told is the truth, right? Whatever they're told to believe, and they don't question anything. They don't question Donald Trump a racist. They just believe it because somebody told it to them. They never revolt, right, on things that they've been lied to, things they've been told, right, in their face. They never revolt. How many black people you see revolt? They say, oh, Joe Biden is treating me fucked up. You know what I'm saying? I'm losing faith in the Democratic Party. But how many people showing, hey, man, I'm leaving the Democratic Party. Fuck that shit. I'm revolting, right? They never revolt. Even the community is fucked up. The crime is going on, right? They still sticking with the Democratic Party. Some of them, even though its ratings is going down, right? Some people don't believe in that shit. But you still got 29 or 43%, however many percent, still believe in the shit he's doing. They never revolt. They always gonna stick with the Democratic Party and whatever the fuck they do. They never think, right? Because everybody who the Democratic Party all got to think is one. They have one brain, right? That's why they all sound like, if you listen to MSNBC, it's people who run clips on all of them say the same thing, right? The same phrase every single time. Right? They never think, they never create, right? They don't have time to create. These people don't create truth. They don't create they don't create knowledge. They don't create incentive. They don't create anything, right? So if you have a person scared to create because you're going to give them things and say, look, I don't want to pay you, or I don't want you to create. I just want you to be docile. You know, don't create shit. You know, don't invent shit. Just stay docile. They would, they would have been transformed. They are dead objects to them. Some people, some black people, Hispanics, and all that, they're not nothing to Democrats but votes. They're not human beings. They're not equal, right? They're not. They're not human. They shouldn't be treated like with certain humanities. They're not. They're lesser than us. We're not going to tell them. We're just going to show them. And we got them so brainwashed, they're never going to revolt. They're never going to question what we're doing to them. Because we got them so brainwashed and wrapped around our fucking fingers. This shit is crazy. We for the graduate college.
In 1984, the main character Winston manages for most of the book to stand psychologically outside the grasp of the party and its leader, Big Brother, despite the widespread fear and mental disorientation which swirls around him. Down with Big Brother, he writes in his diary early in the book. However, after being arrested by the thought police and subjected to re-education, Winston abdicates his reason and conscience and begins to accept the lies.
Huh? Think about this, right? Because he went from thinking he was the only person to remember how good life was before the war and shit like this and for all this new propaganda, right? Now he's being transformed to believe. Now he done went from having a free thought to wonder what's going on in the world with his government and stuff like that, right? To now being transformed into believing what the lies is, right? Believing his thinking was wrong, right? He's been transformed. His thought pattern and all that is being transformed like some people thought pattern will be transformed, right? By lies and deceit, you know what I'm saying, and control and manipulation, right? This is like the thought police, right? Flooding your brain with all kind of shit on Facebook, Instagram, social media, right? They form your thought process. Because if you think if you think unlike them, you're gonna get flagged or censored. So you might as well put up stuff that we agree to. You might as well put up thoughts and statements and posts that we agree with. You have to, because if we disagree with it, it's not about your thought, it's about what we think. If we don't think that it's appropriate, we're gonna take it off. Right? And we're gonna use other people pages and other people extremes as an example to take off your supposedly extreme. Because we're gonna make it a comparison, right? And we're gonna create some kind of way to say they're similar. Right? This is what the thought police does.
It's also true about his feelings politically on the biggest scale about Big Brother. The very end of the novel, Winston says that he loves Big Brother, but for much of the book he also hates him as well, or moves between the two, or finds the two inseparable, hatred and love.
Hatred and love, right? Some people love it, right? They love the safety, but gonna hate the monitoring, gonna hate the constant being in your business and the constant checking and the constant all this old shit, right? They're gonna hate that, but they're gonna love the safety. They're gonna love the peace. They're gonna love the monitoring. They're gonna love the not being fearful, right? But they're gonna hate being monitored. They're gonna hate all the other shit. Love and fear, right? The same thing you can love is also the same thing you can fear, because now you're scared to do something, not because you understand you're also being monitored, but you also understand other people are being monitored too. Love and fear.
And indeed, the political slogans of the state in which he lives, of Oceania, are themselves radically contradictory. War is peace. These two things completely contradict each other, and yet somehow they're the truth of that society. So it's a novel that is full of people feeling deeply ambivalent. He feels ambivalent about his mother, about his memory, about the party, about almost everybody that he meets, in which there's the most intense loathing and disgust on the one hand, but also abject submission or passionate attachment on the other.
Huh? Passionate on the other. You see, right? People are passionate, right, about what they hate. People are passionate about what they're not loving right now. People are very passionate, right, about this shit, right? And you see how people are passionate about hating Donald Trump, how they love to hate. This is what we've come to, where they love to hate. They love to hate you. They love to censor you. They love to dox you. Right? Love and hate is the same thing. Think about it. Love and hate is the same exact fucking thing. You think when people hate you and they act on it, they doing it in the name of hate, or are they doing it out of the name of love? Right? When people fight against so-called fascism, right? Is they doing it out of hate? Are they doing it out of love? right? When people so-called fight against white supremacy, is they doing it out of hate or they doing it out of love? If you listen to them, they doing it out of both of them. Hate for the group and love for their country. Huh? They doing it out of both of them. Love and hate is the same fucking thing. Because you can say you love something and hate something at the same time. Remember, your parents used to say, this is gonna hurt me more than it hurts you. Huh? You gotta do it out of love, but you hate to do it. Love and hate is the same fucking emotion. When you love somebody and that person does you wrong, and when you leave that person, you hate them damn near the same. Right? If you hate somebody and something bad to them, you love that it happened. It's the same fucking emotion. And they're using that emotion to manipulate their followers, the people who listen to them. I'm going to use hate in the name of love. We're going to use hate against Donald Trump. We're going to use hate against white supremacy. We're going to use hate against MAGA. We're going to use hate against supporters. We're going to use hate against all that shit in the name of love, because we want to love each other. We want to love the country. We want to love our neighbor. We want to love this. We're going to hate them in the name of love. Hate and love is the same emotion.
He joins the totalitarian cult and becomes another brick in the wall of the all-powerful state.
This is a world in which the party wants to control everything.
So what they're saying is, pretty soon, right, at one point in time, like he was the only person left and he had to submit, there would be no one left. Everybody's going to have to submit. Huh? Total control. Everybody will submit. We're going to beat it to you. We're going to arrest you for it. We're going to block you for it. We're going to do everything we have to do to keep our lying, deceitful ways and our control up, right? And we can't keep it up if everybody know the truth, right? So we're going to do everything we need to do to hide the truth. We don't need you to know the truth. We don't need you to spread the truth, right? Because we need total control. And the only way we have total control is to have total control of all the information. Get ready. They're telling you at the end, and this is a factual, I mean, everything he said was so right so far about two-way monitoring, about all kind of shit, right? The love and the hate, the big brother, right? About him being the only person and shit like that, right? Or him thinking he was the only person. But soon he had to submit. He had to submit to the lies. He had to submit to the fictions. He had to submit to all of that. Because guess what? If he didn't submit, he would be outcast, right? They would force him. They would keep on forcing them to remember shit, to think about shit. They would keep forcing it into him until he break. That's what the Democrats want you to do. They want to force so much shit upon you with all kind of different crazy shit that you ultimately break. They want to force mask mandates on you. They want to force voting on you. They want to force everything on you, right? More taxes, higher it is. They want to force everything on you until you fucking break. Right? And that's their whole intention, to get you to fucking break. They get you to break, they won. They won. This shit is not a game. Not to them. They playing for keeps. The Democratic Party is not playing for, they playing for keeps. Where are we at?
But above all, they want to control time. So Winston's life is full of memories, of fragments of memory. He's always trying to recover things from the past. And once he meets Julia, it's full of desire, of hope for another possibility, another kind of life. But the party wants to destroy that and make him live, as it makes everyone live, in a kind of perpetual present tense.
right? He's trying to, even though he's committed, he's trying to remember the past. He's trying to have some semblance of the past, right? But the party don't want him to have no resemblance of the past, right? They don't want him to feel that compassion. They don't want him to feel the love, right? They don't want him to have no resemblance of the past, because remember, this is a new normal, right? You can fall in love with anybody. You can, like, you got Dwayne Wade, a son dressing up as a girl, kissing a girl dressed up as a boy. You feel what I'm saying? You lose all trust of what regular used to be, because everything is irregular, right? So now you're trying to find some semblance of what the truth is. Now you're trying to find some semblance of what normal is, because now you've been bombarded with so much shit, you don't have to bite into the shit. You done sucked into the shit. Your mind is now manipulated.
In which there can be no thought of a possible alternative, either in the future or in the past. So time is at the center of political struggle in the book. So Winston spends a lot of time trying to find out what the world of the past was like. He likes objects from the past, like the beautiful book that he finds at the beginning, or the glass paperweight that seems to be like a fragment of a world that's been lost.
A world that's been lost. He had to find fragments of the past to find out, right, was how to remember the past, right? You know what I'm saying? That's why you find an object like, oh, I remember this. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I remember that. Imagine that you'd be so fucking wiped. Just think about the stuff that we don't even think about no more that's been wiped out of the past, right? Things like a Thomas guide. Things like a typewriter, right? Let me see water. I got cotton in my, oh shit, I spilled my water. But think all the things that we had been wiped out. A beeper that's no longer in existence, right? That we forgot all about. They're trying to do the same thing with society, with history.
He even goes down to talk to the proles and tries to find from an old man what the world was actually like before the party dominated it.
Huh? What the world was actually like before the party dominated, right? This is what your kids would probably have to ask you. What was freedom like? What was the freedom of speech like? What was it like when you could write anything and say anything you wanted to? What was it like to not get persecuted for what you say? What was it like to not get spied on for every word, you know what I'm saying, that you uttered? What was it like not to have everything that you texted permanently put on a record? What was it like back then? You're gonna have to ask people. People are gonna ask you. You're gonna have to explain what it was like for us to have freedom. What was it like for us not to be controlled? What was it like for us to have freedom of speech, to say what we wanted to make a video about what we wanted to make a joke about what we wanted to? Right? You have people fight like Elon Musk and Donald Trump are fighting against that. They wanted to be able to remember our history, remember our jokes, remember our sense of humor, remember everything. Our freedom of speech. But you have a certain group of people want to block it.
Referring to Winston, Orwell writes, "He could not fight against the party any longer. Besides, the party was in the right. It was merely a question of learning to think as they thought."
Huh? He could not fight against the party no longer. He had submitted. Now he believed the party is right. Right? Some people are going to submit. Some people are waking up and leaving the party, but some people are submitting to this racism. Some people are submitting to this separation. Some people are submitting to this anger, right? To this division. Some people are submitting because guess what? The party is right.
The pencil felt thick and awkward in Winston's fingers. He began to write down the thoughts that came into his head. He wrote first in large, clumsy capitals, "Freedom is slavery." Then, almost without a pause, he wrote beneath it, 2 and 2 make 5. The struggle was finished.
Huh? Did you see that? Then he almost without pause, wait. He wrote first in large, clumsy capitals, "Freedom is slavery," right? So if you free, that means you actually a slave, you know what I'm saying? Because nobody's supposed to be free. So that's slavery, right? You have to be enslaved to be free, right? Because you have to be controlled and told what to do and told what's allowed in order for you to be free. So if you're too free, that's slavery because you're being trapped. you know what I'm saying, like an animal or something, right? Then after that, he wrote 2 + 2 is 5. Because now all reality is lost. You already gave up the struggle. You already gave up the fight. Big Brother has already won. And you love Big Brother, right? When Big Brother won, you submitted. Fuck it. I gave up. I gave up my way of thinking. I gave up my freedom of speech. I gave up my Second Amendment right, my First Amendment right. I gave up my Fifth Amendment right. I gave up every fucking right down the line, right? Because I believe in Big Brother, I submit.
He had won the victory over himself. He loved Big Brother.
1984 is clearly a novel that's deeply concerned with politics and the wider society. But also within it, there's a very deeply important love story between Winston and Julia. But it's a very strange one. And indeed, the whole novel's relationship to sexuality is often a perversely strange one. So that we know that Winston's first marriage was an unhappy one, that his wife called having sex our duty to the party.
The wife called having sex duty to the party. Remember this, right? Because now it's people, right, who will befriend you, right? It's people who won't date you or fuck with you, not because of the person you are, it's because the party you affiliated with, right? And because they believe in Black Lives Matter so bad, right? Or they believe in the Democrats, or they believe Republicans are such a fucked up person because of their party and their affiliation, right? They will grow a hatred up for you, right? See how the book was excellently written, right? She called it her duty for the party. I gotta fuck everybody in the party, right? Because this is my duty, right? When dudes say, okay, hold on, that's not my duty to have my girl fuck everybody in the party. Believe everything the party say. Have the party run trains on you, right? Because you say it's your duty, right? So I must lead this because I don't believe in that. So it grew a hatred. Book is excellently wrote because of the release. Bitch, you can't be fucking everybody in your relationship with me and call it your duty to the government or your duty to the party. Huh? Some people are that messed up. They believe they politics. Some people on the left believe they policies, right, is worth or is bigger than friendships or connections or conversations. They don't want to hear conversations. They don't want to be friends with you if you believe in a certain way. I experienced it.
Some have taken this ending as a sign of Orwell's pessimism, as an indication that humanity is doomed to a totalitarian future. Yet Orwell's motive for writing this book was not to depress nor promote a fatalistic apathy, but to warn and rouse to action as many people as possible.
And his relationship with Julia too is very different, that she just sends him a note out of the blue saying, I love you. But his thoughts about her before then have been very violent ones. He wants to cosh her with a rubber truncheon.
Now, I get this revelation. This book is genius, right? Now, this revelation is something that has to do with me, right? Kind of like me, right? Remember when I was a liberal, right? I used to hate the Republican Party. Didn't know why, because I felt it was my duty to the Republican Party. But you have people in the Republican Party, like Donald Trump, say, what do you have to lose? Like, basically, I love you, right? But I feel this anger, and I'm supposed to feel this anger for this person, right? And I want to fuck this person up or beat this person's ass and stuff, and I feel this anger, right? And I don't know why. But you have this person, like he said, write a note, say, I love you, right? So you're not really knowing how to feel. Your emotions is fucked up, you know what I'm saying? Because you want to do one thing, right? You know what I'm saying? But this person is so compassionate, you can't. Now you have to learn.
He says to her when they first speak that he wanted to rape her and then kill her. So sexuality and violence seem deeply linked in the book. In one way, it's a world of freedom, of escape. That's what he loves about Julia, that what Winston loves about Julia, is that she has a sexual freedom that he's never seen elsewhere.
Huh? And for mine, it's not a sexual freedom, it's a freedom of speech I never had elsewhere, because remember, I was always told to censor my jokes and say this and say that, right? You know, and even now, right? You have, I was with a party that wanted you to talk about certain things and talk about certain people, right? But then when it wasn't really me, and I had to interpret my jokes and carve out my jokes to mimic certain critiques in certain areas and certain shit like that, right? So it was a freedom. But when I start being conservative and have a conservative audience, right? You know what I'm saying? And instead of a sexual freedom, right? It was a more of a comic freedom. I could say what the fuck I wanted to. I could talk about what I wanted to talk about. I can research what I want to talk about, right? So it's more of a freedom now, you know? You feel me? At first it went from a hatred until understanding, right? And started talking to that person and talking to, like I say, and talking to a lot of white people, you know what I'm saying? A lot of conservative people and shit like that. You start understanding and you start really loving the freedom, you know what I'm saying? And that hate done turned into love.
And that the party doesn't approve of.
For Orwell,
right? And the Democratic Party and most of my party, like he said, didn't approve of it, right? Most people in my party didn't approve of me turning Republican. Most people at my old party didn't approve of me supporting Trump, right? You know what I'm saying? So it went from them, it went from a hate, it went from a love to a hate. When it went from a hate to a love. You know what I'm saying? It's a total opposite. You feel what I'm saying? So it total opposite with him. He was hating his party, you know, because he was hating his party, right? Because of what the party was turning into, right? And he was looking for something new. He found a new party. And since he found that new party, his old party hate him for that. It's crazy.
For Orwell understood as well as anyone that in the battle between totalitarianism and freedom, no one can afford to stand aside. The fate of each and every one of us hangs in the balance.
But still at the same time, it often seems deeply misogynistic, his relationship to women in the book. And in the end, it almost seems less important than his relationship with O'Brien. So it's a very strange novel in terms of the way in which perversity and freedom and eroticism are complexly bound together. But it's not just Winston who has a strange relationship to sexuality. It's also the party does too. The party wants to eliminate it.
Huh? The party want to eliminate it. They want to eliminate all that stuff. They want freedom, compassion, anger, right? Remember, they want to eliminate all kinds of shit, right? All of them into one, different things, right? They want to eliminate sexuality, freedom, and all of those shit, right? The things that he, right, have found happiness in, right? With the party or the person he just found, right? The other party or the ruling class wants to eliminate all of that.
So that Julia, for example, is a member of the Junior Anti-Sex League and wears the red sash. And it's that the party doesn't want to eliminate love, but it wants to eliminate eroticism, that somehow there's something within sexuality that seems unbounded and free.
Huh? You can't have free sexuality. It's too free, right? So we don't want you to be unpassionate. We don't want you to be less passionate, right? We don't want you to not love. But we wanted to be some type of boundaries on what you can do inside of that love. This shit is genius, right? And that's what the Democrats are doing, right? It's not about, oh, men can marry women and men can marry men and like that. It's how we say you can have this love. We say you can have this certain type of love, and we say you can have that certain type of love, right? It's based on our restrictions. We tell you basically who you can love and who you can't love. Right? Because if we don't say it, society tell you. You can't date this person. White person can't date a black person. You know what I'm saying? In different neighborhoods, right? You know what I'm saying? In both neighborhoods. Some black people in black neighborhoods will frown down on it, and some white people in white neighborhoods will frown down on it, right? I mean, and it's getting to the point where they're trying to eliminate everything else. And it's based on love. Love who you want to. Love this man. Love this woman. Love this dog. Love this hologram, right? Because we could eliminate it, right? So that way love is just love. No compassion, no extremism, no extreme love, just regular love. That's all you need, just regular love.
And you can see in that Orwell resembling a writer like D.H. Lawrence, the sense that somewhere in sexual freedom, there can be something that can stand against any kind of totalitarian power. So Winston at one point says to Julia, you're only a rebel from the waist down. So in one way he's implying a limitation there.
Huh? Saying you're limited on what you can think. You're only a rebel from the waist down, right? But you have to be not a rebel, I guess, from the waist up, right? You have to think and act a certain way, right? You know what I'm saying? And he confused about that, right? Because she's confusing him, right? Like, you giving me my sexual freedoms as I want to, right? You let me do this, you let me have threesomes, you let me hit it from the back, you let me do all that old stuff, right? But everything up, especially up top, is not giving me everything I want. That's why the love and the hate come in. I love what you give me down here as a rebel, right? Because you're free, right? You're a freak in the bed. But out in public, you're somebody else. And that's where the hatred come in. That's when I saw that. That's where the love and the hate come in. I love you when you're in the bed and that bottom half of you, you know what I'm saying? Because you're free. But I hate it when you're out there because you're trapped. You're entrapped. You're enslaved. That's where the love and the hate come in at.
But also admiration for what can resist something that goes very deep within the self that the party wants to control.
Don't let it happen. It depends on you.
Don't let it happen. It depends on you. Woo! That was a good informational show right there, right? I'm kind of glad they not flagged me, but I should have checked this channel a little earlier. You know what I'm saying? Found out about the super chat. I want to thank everybody for the super chats. I can't read all the names right now because out of my chat right now, but all the names I just mentioned, you know what I'm saying, on my first show on the super chat, I would like to thank y'all. I know it was Randy, I know it was Buffalo, I know it was Troy, I know it was Slaphead, you know, and I know it was a couple, it was RJ, man, you know what I'm saying, I know it was a couple people on here, so shout out for those who we're gonna keep this channel rolling. We're gonna keep, you know what I'm saying, we're gonna bring new things to the channel, you know what I'm saying, because I'm gonna make some viral videos for here, you know. I'm gonna have to do something to make, because I don't think I'm shadow banned on here, so I'll make some viral videos to come on here and put on this page so that the subscribers can go up in a fucking way. You feel me? Because I'm genius at this. I am genius at this right here. You feel me? I'm making videos. So I got a show that I'm doing in Texas. You know what I'm saying? So you're out there in Houston. I got a show I'm doing this coming up Friday. So come on out to the Comedy Lounge if you're out there in Houston, or if you're out there in the Texas area and you want to meet your boy, you want to greet your boy, and you want to do all of those stuff, and I'm coming closer to you, and you're out there in the Texas area in Houston, come out there and check your boy out. I don't know how far it is from you. I'm just telling you, I'm going to be there. You know what I'm saying? Friday and Saturday. You feel what I'm saying? And probably Mother's Day. I think I go back on Mother's Day or something like that. You feel me? But, you feel me? I will be, how do you say it? I will be out there for at least 2 or 3 days. You feel me? So if you're out there Friday, come and holler at your boy. You know, I will be living hopefully that night. Hopefully Saturday night I'll be leaving, and hopefully I'll be back out here Monday. You feel me? So if you're out there, come and see your boy. I'm cracking jokes and stuff like that. If you ain't saw me live and you want to see some jokes and you want to see the best baby mama and the grandma jokes, you gotta come and holler at your boy. You feel me? And I need to pack it out, you know what I'm saying? I need to have a couple of my people come on out so the owner can see I got people coming out. So next time I could do my own show and have my own, you know what I'm saying, people there, have my own comics, and I can be the host and I can do what the fuck I want to. So if you come out to Houston this week, this Friday, and you come to the show, you're going to help me out tremendously. I got a couple of people that's coming out, and I want to thank them, you know what I'm saying, for everybody else. If you're out there and you need to do something, come on out to the Comedy Lounge. You feel me? I'll be there. It's a new channel. I will be there. I will be there. Great show. Good looking out on that. Good looking out. Outstanding job. I just started the show this morning too, y'all. I'm telling you, I just started the show this morning. Like, it just came to me. As soon as they flagged me, I was like, let me get on some freedom of speech shit. You know what I'm saying? And like I say, one thing leads to another and all that. So I'm going to be doing more lives, and I'm going to be doing a whole lot more stuff, you know what I'm saying, on this channel. Like, I got to go get me some luggage and stuff to put my clothes in and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm going to be on the plane Thursday, you know what I'm saying? So I gotta go get all my stuff together, stuff like that. So I want to thank y'all for coming out. I want to thank y'all for donating. If you ain't donating in the live chat, you want to donate on the Cash App, that is still very much available, because these niggas take like 20% or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But that is very much available still. You see? But yeah, Yeah, any way you want to do it. I'm about this bitch. I'll holler at y'all on the next one. Because this one is over. It's over.